Hey, Amy, are you sitting down? So the big news is you're getting the money.
That's amazing. Wow, I just, I can't thank you enough because, like, again, ignored emails for a year and everyone just blew me off and I couldn't sit and do nothing. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough.
Developing news tonight as the City of Austin tells us it will pay police officers who were denied sick pay in 2018. This is a direct result of a KXAN investigation in November.
And that reaction that you just saw came from the wife of Detective Norman Bujanos. For months, she has been pleading with the city to get benefits her husband was denied after his death. The city's decision comes after we asked why certain top-level police officers got their sick pay, but others, like Detective Bujanos, did not. He died from a rare side effect of lamotrigine. That's a popular prescription drug he was taking to treat depression. Depression, his wife says, was brought on by police work.
While his family was grieving, they realized his final paycheck did not include at least $29,000 of sick pay that he earned.
KXAN investigator Aaron Cargile walks us through what happened tonight.
So we've been planning to air this story tonight. The city was aware, and just hours ago, my phone rang. It was the city manager's office calling to tell me after we brought it to their attention, Spencer Cronk decided what happened was unfair, and he wanted to make it right for 5 officers who left the department in good standing, including Detective Bujanos. Here's the background. For some of us, when it comes to sick days, if we don't use it, we lose it. But for Austin police officers, it rolls over each year, and many decide to save them up instead of taking their days, so that when they resign or retire, those hours can turn into a big check for thousands of dollars. The max amount an officer can get paid for is 1,700 hours. But during nearly a 1-year window in 2018, that was not the case. This timeline illustrates when APD was operating without a contract because the police union and the city could not come to an agreement. It affected a lot of things, including sick pay. And during this time, officers who left were cut off at 900 hours no matter how many more they had accumulated. This is when Detective Bujanos died in October, less than 30 days before the new contract was signed.
I feel the need to say I'm so sorry for your loss, and I want to thank you for bringing what happened to your husband to the light.
Since Amy Bujanos first told her husband's story, she says the number of people reaching out has been overwhelming.
Someone that was a medical director at a psychiatric hospital in town, and he didn't know about the warning.
She's been hearing from total strangers on social media, but she's still hoping the story resonates with the city of Austin, which denied she and her daughter the full sick time payout Detective Norman Bujanos was owed, money he had been saving up for retirement.
So I asked his sergeant, I said, do you think that they would make an exception, and give us the payout?
She also wrote a letter to the police chief, but was later told by his sergeant the answer from the city attorney was no.
And he said if they made the exception for me, they'd have to make the exception for anyone else that was affected in that time frame.
Through an open records request, KXAN discovered 8 other officers were also denied sick pay during the no-contract gap. Officers who either resigned or retired, including Assistant Chief Frank Dixon, who went on to become the police chief in Denton, and Assistant Chief Chris McElvain, who took over safety and security at the Austin Convention Center. Detective Bujanos was the only officer impacted who died.
This wasn't a choice. He didn't choose to leave. He didn't choose to retire. He died under unfortunate circumstances.
Chief Brian Manley told KXAN the city manager is the only one with the power to change the decision. We first requested an interview with Spencer Cronk on January 2nd, but we're told his calendar is full and city management is looking into it. Next, we reached out to every single city council member and the mayor.
Of course it's not fair.
Councilwoman Natasha Harper Madison responded immediately.
You need a human being with a warm beating heart to recognize that this is the exception. This is a situation where this gentleman, put his life on the line to do the job, and he's got a wife and a daughter that we as a municipality have an obligation to care for. he did what he was supposed to do. Now it's time for us to do what we're supposed to do.
The situation struck a chord because her own husband is an Austin firefighter, and last year she passed a resolution directing the city manager to identify ways Austin can do better to support the mental health of first responders.
We know that these contract negotiations are going to come up again, so what do you do to protect the most vulnerable?
You build in systems. That's how it goes.
Systems to avoid another gap where first responders are not protected after a career of protecting their community.
He was really devoted to his job and to the city, and I know he would be angry at the whole situation. I'm just trying to honor his memory, fight for what I know he would want me to fight for.
And her fight paid off. Again, the city manager telling us just hours ago, because of us bringing this to his attention, he decided to pay officers who left in good standing the sick pay they were denied. This includes Detective Buhanos and 4 other officers, which totals just over 2,000 hours, likely tens of thousands of dollars. Part of what played into that decision, which is what we discovered in our digging, the city made exceptions for 2 of its highest ranking officers on the list, Chief Manley and former Assistant Chief Chris McElvain, because they were both rehired by the City of Austin. Manley had to technically retire during the no contract period time and be rehired as Austin's police chief. He told me he was able to negotiate into his new contract with the city a clause allowing him to get the rest of his sick time payout once a new APD contract was signed. As for McElvain, he retired from APD to take over as Director of Safety and Security at the Austin Convention Center. We are still working with the city to learn how this payout will happen, the exact amount of money, and now that Councilmember Harper Madison is involved, how she plans to work with the city manager to come up with a system to prevent this from ever happening again. Back to you.
And online now, see how this investigation unfolded and learn more about the prescription drug side effects that led to Detective Buhanos' death. It's all in the investigative section of KXAN.